Hey, fourth graders, Mr. Bell here. All right, let's get started on our next project. And it's that time of year because Valentine's Day is coming up. So that's what your next project is going to be. And you will see here, this is Valentine's card, and it's got a inside to it. So you can do your design on the front and write a note to someone on the inside, and there's the back. Anyway, what you're going to do in this project is you are going to use geometric and freeform shapes to create a design that would be considered abstract expressionism. Okay? And that's the opposite of realism. So you'll notice this, yeah, we can tell that's a heart, but this design is what you would call abstract expressionism for the most part. And you can put little patterns inside your heart and make it pop a little more compared to the background, which is a little more plain. And also think about the colors that you use. I used all warm colors inside my heart, and that will create a contrast with the background where I used just cold colors. You don't have to do warm versus cold, but that'll really help make it pop. But the main thing is whatever colors you do put inside the heart, do not use the same colors outside the heart. So if you make your heart all, let's say, red and blue, then your background could be purple and yellow, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that whatever's out here is different than what's inside there. Okay? All right, so also think about line of symmetry, because you want your heart to look even on both sides. You want it to have symmetry. So look at the left, look at the right. We're talking about the shape. Your design does not have to be symmetrical, just the shape. So here's the heart I made to use for this card, and you'll notice the left side matches the right side. That is a line of symmetry. There's your line, the left matches the right, and that's what I used on there. And I traced it to get it looking nice and even. I'm going to show you how to do that first, because that is step one. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is get a sheet of paper. If you have construction paper or something a little thicker, that's even better. And fold it in half. All right, and then what you want to do is get your pencil and decide how big you want your heart to be. I mean, this is kind of a small heart. If you want to make yours bigger, you certainly can. And make sure that it's open on the right and folded on the left, because you're going to draw the heart on the folded side. And you might want to sketch it out kind of lightly first. Yeah, I didn't sketch that lightly, but if you need to erase and fix something, make sure you do that. Okay, I like the way it came out. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then you want to get a pair of scissors and cut right on that line. And take your time, cut neatly. Anytime you need to pause the video to get materials or to finish something, go ahead and pause it and go back and press play when you're ready for the next part, okay? There we go. Put this to the side. Don't toss it. You might be able to use it, and especially if you don't like the way your heart came out, you know, you can open this up and you can fold it, and you can draw another heart on another folded part. So, you know, don't waste it. Anyway, let me open this up. My heart has line of symmetry. And if you don't have construction paper, you know, this can be done on regular paper also. And you can go ahead and you can cut and just use a regular sheet of paper. Anyway, oops, sorry about that. Now, what you want to do next is, if you have a piece of construction paper or you have tag board, thicker paper is always going to be best for a card. But if you don't, you can do this on a regular sheet of paper as well. So I'll show you each one. I'm going to go ahead. This is tag board. So it's way thicker than regular paper, and it's even thicker than construction paper. And this is actually the best thing to paint on. And this is all paint on here. I think I used a colored pencil, a black colored pencil to make the lines. And you could use a crayon also. But this is all paint: yellow paint, red paint, orange, blue, green, and purple. It might be hard for you to see the purple. It doesn't look like purple when I look at my computer screen, but that is actually purple in real life. And if, like I said, if you don't have paints, you can do this on a regular sheet of paper. And what you would do is you would trace all these lines with a black marker and then color crayon inside. Or you could color it with a regular marker, where the blue, the green, and all that is, and then do the black lines afterwards. But I would suggest you do the black lines with marker, then color in with crayon. I wouldn't try painting on. I mean, you could try painting on regular thin paper, like computer paper, if you want, but it's probably, let me put a hole through there. It's very thin. And if you color the whole thing with marker, it's going to curl your paper. And so you're best off using the marker just for lines and then the crayon for the inside part. But I'll be doing the painting session for you. So once you have this folded, make sure it opens on the right. It's folded on the left. You want it to open like a real card. And decide where you want your heart to go. You can even put it at an angle. You could draw more than one heart if you want to. You can even overlap the hearts. So there's lots of different ways to do this. I just put one here in the middle on this example. So decide if you want different sized hearts, you can use this extra paper and even make small ones if you want to. There's lots of options. You just have to use your imagination. So I'm going to cut this little heart out. And there we go. So I could do something like that, or I could just put one, or lower. So, make a decision where you want yours to go. I'm going to pick out, we'll use all three of these. I have a different version than this other one that I showed you. Flatten these out. And then you want to trace. And use your fingers and your thumb and fold it down the best that you can while you're tracing your heart or your hearts. There's one. It might be hard for you to see. The light's kind of shining on it funny. And whoops. Pencil went on top of the heart. That's okay. It's not really a problem. You're just using it to trace. And this last one. You can always turn your paper around. It'll make it easier for you to trace the other side. Try not to let the heart move when you're tracing. And try not to let your pencil go underneath. If you keep your pencil really vertical, like this, when you trace it, it won't go underneath what you're tracing. And there we go. Put those over there. I can use those again sometime. And now, once you have this done, you're ready to decide what kind of lines you want to put on there. Straight, zigzag, loopy. You have your geometric shapes on there. Now you're going for some free-form type stuff. You can also add some more geometric shapes. Semicircle, triangle. Sometimes you end up with a geometric shape by accident. When these two straight lines crisscrossed, it made a triangle there. That ended up there. Okay, so, and if you want to use a ruler, you certainly can, or you can just freehand all your lines. But I'm going to use a ruler. Notice how I spread my fingers and my thumb apart at each end of the ruler so it won't move on me. There we go. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. There we go. And have one go through here. Maybe one over here. Let's stop, pause, take a look, see where else you might want some lines. Some people like to spread their fingers apart like this when they trace. That doesn't hold it down as well, but I get lucky and sometimes it works. Okay, so I'm going to start putting some other kinds of lines. If you just want to do straight lines, that's fine. You can just do straight lines. You can even make your line end at another line instead of going all the way to the other side. There we go. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some loopy lines in here. Alright, and I think I want to put one in here. And I don't want it too busy, and I'm going to stop right there and not do any more. Okay? Alright, so what you want to do next is decide if you're going to use a colored pencil or a crayon. Again, if you don't have this stuff and you're doing marker, then trace it with a black marker. But I'm going to go ahead and start tracing all of my lines black like this. So, like I said, crayon's fine. And also, colored pencil works, but colored pencils break very easily, and sometimes you have to go over the lines a couple of times to get them dark enough so they'll show up. So I usually prefer crayon, so I'm going to go ahead and trace all these lines. Okay, so I've traced all the hearts and all the lines, and I'm doing my pattern inside the hearts now because I really want them to pop. There we go. Crayons get dull really quickly, so I have a little sharpener here. There we go. Alright, so that's all finished. And make sure you brush off any crayon flakes that are there. One thing you don't have to worry about with colored pencils is the mess. But anyway, so now it's time to paint. So I have to think about what color paints that I'm going to put inside the hearts and what I'm going to put on the outside, making sure that they're different. Okay, so that's what I'm going to work on next. Okay, so get all that extra water off and start painting. So I'm sticking with warm colors inside and cold colors on the outside. So I'm going to pick a spot and start painting, and I'm going to do all the hearts first, and then I'm going to work on the background afterwards. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so basically finished painting here. I have one last little section to do in this heart, and there we go. You'll notice that all the ones with dots I did orange, all the ones with the zigzags I did red, all the ones with the straight lines I did yellow, and I had this one section with X's, so I made that pink. It might be kind of hard to see, but alright, now I'm ready to work on the background. So I'm going to do some blues, greens, and purples in the background. Alright, so that's the next part. Alright, so I painted the blue sections. Now I'm ready to go in here and paint some of the sections green and whatever's left over purple. Alright. Okay, there we go. All finished. Blue, green, and purple all around the hearts. Red, orange, and yellow in the hearts, and a little pink right there. Alright, so that's how you do it. There's the back. There's the front. There's the inside. Okay. Have a good time with this. Can't wait to see yours. Okay, y'all take care. Bye-bye.